So you want to be a music producer, but you don't know how to play an instrument. Are there any professional producers out there that create dope music that never picked up an instrument? Is it possible? Let's discuss. Welcome to Platinum Lyrics and Beats Podcast. I'm your host, Trey Boy. I teach aspiring music producers how to create and sell dope beats online without the confusion, frustration of wondering where to start. Look, if you are an aspiring music producer and you're looking to get started producing beats and get your music out there so you can share it with the world, I have a gift for you. Watch the Producer's Blueprint, all right? I'll show you everything you need to know, the equipment that super producers use to create beats. I'll show you how to create a beat from scratch. I'll do it right in front of you. I'll show you on video how to create a beat, all right? And I'll also show you how to connect with your fans so you can sell your beats online and make money from doing so. All right, watching the blueprint will save you some time, money, confusion, and frustration. I'll lay everything out. It's only 30 minutes and it will get you started creating beats and making some passive income. If you're on your favorite podcast, just go to aspireproducerslab.com. aspireproducerslab.com. If you're on YouTube, just go below. The link will be in the descriptions. All right, let's get to it. Can you create a dope beat or music if you don't know how to play an instrument? Well, it's true. Let's be real. It is true. Some of the most famous, talented music producers play at least one instrument. All right, maybe a piano, guitar, drums. Prince played all of them. All right, rest in peace, Prince. He played everything. All right, but does that mean you have to play everything or even just one instrument? All right, let me help you out. The answer is no. You do not need to know how to play an instrument to be a music producer. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. All right, reason number 1. All you need is your ear for music. That's all you need. You just need an ear for music. You know what sounds good to you. You know what type of music you like, the sounds and melodies that feel right to your soul. You don't have to even think about it. You know what feels right, all right? It's a feeling you get that sits well with you. Even like if you listen to some music and you're like, man, I don't like the way that sounds. That's just, you're feeling, hey, that doesn't feel good to me, or I like the way this sounds. So if you have an ear for it, that's what you need. That's the foundation of what you need, all right? When you're in front of your DAW, digital audio workstation, is what a DAW is, D-A-W. And you're listening to different samples, drum kits and loops, certain sounds, they're going to connect with you. All right? You're listening to it and you're like, I like the way that sound. I like the way that vibes, and you can build off of that. No physical instruments are needed for this. Just you and your unique creativity. Nowadays, you can just copy and paste on the DAW you're using, and you can play the beat out. You know, it's that simple now. Wasn't always that simple. Back in the day when we started with Pro Tools, it wasn't always that simple, but now you can construct a beat in minutes. All right. You may not know how to play an instrument, but you do need to know what sounds good. You need to develop the skill of a producer to complete a beat. That's key. When you do develop the skills of a producer, you will know how to start a beat. You know how to finish a beat. That's how that works. All right. Reason number 2, why you don't need to know how to play an instrument to be a music producer. The tools and features that are available on the DAWs today eliminate the need for you to know how to play an instrument. All right, let's take Logic Pro and Pro Tools, for example. They both are great DAWs. They're good options for beginners. All right, they are inexpensive, easy to learn, and online tutorials are abundant for continuous learning. You can watch several videos on, Pro Tools and Logic Pro. All right, you can open up each DAW and pick an instrument, drag it to the editing window, press the space bar, and listen to a whole loop. You don't need to know how to play. You just need to know how to set the different sounds and elements and samples in place. All right, you can do that. You can have a drum pattern or a sample that you want to listen to and just set it on your editing, well, we call it window. All right, it'll be an editing window. You have a mixing window. That's where it comes with your DAW. With each DAW, it comes with that. All right, you'll set the tempo for the drums. You can change the keys on the sample you choose to make it yours, to make it a unique sound. You don't have to keep the sound the same as the sample that you purchased. You can manipulate each sound, make it yours. All right, so when somebody hear it, even if they created it, they would be like, I didn't even know I created that. That sounds totally different than what I made. You know, I use Pro Tools, but I also use MPC Renaissance to load my sounds. And most producers use 2 DAWs, but it's not mandatory. All right, but that's what you can use to load your sounds. On the Renaissance, just for example, it's very easy to drag your samples to the editing window and your drum pads and cook up a track. It's simple. All right, but whatever DAW you have, you just read the directions or look at a tutorial video, and it'll let you know, hey, this is how you load these samples to the editing window. All right. Last but not least, number 3, why you don't need to know how to play an instrument to be a music producer. You can collab with other musicians that play the instrument that you want. All right, you can collab with other musicians that play like the drums, the bass, the lead guitar, the keys. You can collab with them. All right, I've been producing for over 10 years now, and I always start my beats off with the melody. That's how I start my beats off. I add other elements as I go, but there are times I call on other professional guitar players and keyboard players, people I network with, drummers. And what's the reason for this? Because they are a lot more experienced than I am playing the instrument. Some of them, that's all they play. You got drummers, they don't play keys, they don't play the guitar, all they play is the drums. So that means that they spent thousands of hours playing this one instrument, which means when they get a hold of your track, they're going to elevate it to a whole nother level. You got bass players and they've been playing since they were kids, and you give them a track and they put a bass line over it, and you're like, man, I would have never thought about putting that bass on there, and it's not like you can't get the job done, but you can work with other musicians that have spent thousands of hours perfecting their craft and, use that on your tracks. This makes your track sound more professional and well put together. All right, it's just point blank. On the song I produced, All Star Team Live, I brought in a professional keyboard player, bass lead, guitar player, and a dope drummer. I mean, it elevated the track. I did bring in the sample and some other elements, but the song actually became one of my biggest hits. It's nothing like listening to real instrumentation. All right. This reminds me of the producers like Rick Rubin and Quincy Jones. Rick Rubin doesn't play an instrument, to my knowledge. Doesn't play it. You never hear about him playing any instruments. Quincy Jones played the horn back in the day. I believe it was the trumpet, but their biggest hits, they didn't play any instruments on it. They brought in professional musicians to play what they heard in their head. They were like, hey, I need you to play this. This is the sound I hear. This is what I need to be played on this track. Rick Rubin, for example, He produced artists like the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Ghetto Boys, Run DMC. The list goes on and on. Jay-Z. Yeah. So Quincy Jones, all right. Who doesn't know Michael Jackson? Quincy Jones produced Michael Jackson, all right. He just told the musicians, hey, this is what I need you to play here. This is what I need you to play here. Let's collab and come together. He also produced Aretha Franklin, Shaka Khan. The list goes on. The point I'm trying to make is that they had an ear for the music. They brought in the musicians and they had them play out what was going on in their head, and they made some great music. So don't think you have to do it all, because you don't. As a matter of fact, when you collab with other musicians and other producers, they bring the best out. They can bring the best out in your track, and you can make a masterpiece. So there you have it. 3 reasons you do not need to know how to play an instrument to be a music producer. So just to revamp, number 1, you just need to have an ear for music. All right. Number 2, the DAW is going to do the work for you. Number 3, collab with professional musicians to get the job done. All right. So if you're wondering, how can I be a music producer even though I don't know how to play any instruments? You should know now. You should know. This is what I could do. I want to be a music producer, but I don't know how to play any instruments. This is how you can be a music producer. Now, it is going to take some practice from you. You're not going to be great at anything if you don't spend a lot of time doing it. There's no sense in me beating around the bush. If this is something you want to do, you're going to have to spend time doing it. All right. If you are a music producer and you're looking to get started producing beats and you want to get your music out there, share it with the world, man, download the Producer's Blueprint. All right. Again, I'll share that with you. Download the Producer's Blueprint, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know from the equipment you need to creating a beat to connecting the beats with your fans. Watching the blueprint is going to open your eyes. And like I said before, it's just 30 minutes. You'll start creating beats and make some passive income. If you're on your favorite podcast, just go to aspireproducerslab.com. If you're on YouTube, the link is below. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Leave a comment and let me know if you are an aspiring music producer and if you know how to play an instrument or not. Let me know if you know how to play an instrument and how you use that in your production. All right. If you got any value for this episode, leave a review on the podcast platform. You know, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, man, leave me a review. Let me know what you liked about the podcast. This helps me to be able to rank high in this category. All right, my goal is to inspire you to get started in your music production career and make some life-changing music and money. That's right, baby. Have a great day. Amazing week. Let's get it. This Trey Boy. I'm out.